Morning everyone, and happy first official day of Vlogmas. We got our Christmas tree up last night, and this Christmas tree is like a beast. So I had asked Derek, if half joking around, I was like, honey, since this is our first Christmas in our new house, can we get a tree that's like so big that you can see it through this window on the outside? So we got a 9-foot tree, which is kind of obnoxious, but we had a Home Depot gift card for $500, and this tree was on sale on Black Friday for $175, so it was free. I don't feel too bad about it, and it looks fabulous, so I love it. So today's Thursday, and on Thursday mornings in our house, our kids eat breakfast really fast, and then we have to head out the door to drive about an hour away to Kinsley's physical therapy appointment. And so today I thought I would kind of share our story of why Kinsley's going to physical therapy and what all that entails, and then later tonight we'll probably do a Christmas activity as a family when Derek gets home from work. So I will just take you along for our day, show you a little bit of what Kinsley does at physical therapy, and then when I get a chance in the afternoon, I'll sit down and tell you guys all about why she goes to physical therapy and what that whole deal is. So let's get on with the rest of our day.
Good girl. 4, step, step. 5, step, step. Good step. 6, come up, one more. Step, step. Kids, step, step. Yes, girl. Yes, ma'am.
Kinsley, say hi. So we just got done physical therapy, and we are looking for hats and stuff. Hats, yep. And this one is so cute. We're getting it. Alright, so Kinsley is down for her nap, and Kyle's down for quiet time, so I thought that now would be a good time to tell the whole our holoprosencephaly story. So holoprosencephaly is the diagnosis that our daughter has, and how it all came about was when I was 20 weeks pregnant during the ultrasound. They had seen a brain abnormality, but at the time they told us that it was mild ventriculomegaly, which means that there's a little bit of extra water buildup in the brain, but not so much that it's life-threatening by any means. They basically told us that worst case scenario, when she was born, she would need a shunt placed, which would drain the water out of her brain, and it would bring the water down to her stomach, and then her body would just remove the excess water as waste. And so that's what they told us when we were pregnant. And then a few weeks after my 20-week ultrasound, they did another ultrasound, and they said that the ventriculomegaly was getting worse, and that there was more water in the brain, and that it went from ventriculomegaly to hydrocephalus, which is basically the same condition, just worse. So they're like, we're definitely going to need to place a shunt when she's born, and we'll go from there. They said there was a 60% chance that she'd be completely fine with no cognitive delays or anything. And so we just kept going with the pregnancy, and then we went back a few weeks later for another ultrasound, because at this point we were high risk and we were getting ultrasounds every 3 weeks. So they did another ultrasound, and they were like, actually it doesn't look like hydrocephalus at all. It looks like she has what's called Semi Lobar Holoprosencephaly. And so holoprosencephaly is the actual name of the malformation, and then there's 4 subtypes. There's alobar, semi-lobar, lobar, and then a 4th variation called MIVH, or middle interhemispheric variant holoprosencephaly. So they told us that she had semi-lobar, which was the second most severe, and they told us that there was a 1 in 10,000 chance that she'd be born alive, and if she was born alive, there was a 1% chance that she would make it to 6 months. So those were the odds we were given. They asked us if we wanted to terminate the pregnancy, and of course we said no. We were just like, we'll just do whatever. We're just going to see it through and see what happens. And so she was born, and when she was born, she was completely fine. Like, they told us that she was going to need a feeding tube, and that she would potentially be blind, and that she would be on oxygen, and like basically she would be on life support, and that she basically wouldn't be able to do any of these things on her own. So they told us that, and then she was born, and she comes out screaming, and she nursed right away, and she was a champ, and she didn't need any support. They monitored her in the NICU for 32 hours, and then they sent us home, and they were like, we did an MRI, her brain still looks the same, but she's not showing any signs of anything, so you can take her home. So we took her home, and she was doing great for the first few months. She hit all of her milestones really fast. She rolled over on time, all those kind of infantile milestones that you look for. And then around 6 months, when we had to start feeding her solid foods, she started choking a ton, and she would throw up or choke on all of her food. And so we were doing the Heimlich on her like 3-4 times a day. Whenever she would eat, we'd have to do the Heimlich on her. Hang on, she's crying, so I have to go help her real quick. So at 6 months, we started doing physical therapy with her. 1, to get her core muscles stronger so that she could eat and not choke all the time, and 2, because she wasn't making any progress towards crawling or doing any of those things. So we started physical therapy around 6 to 9 months. We actually started. And since then, we've been going to physical therapy every single week for an hour on Thursday mornings, and it was really hard at first. She went like 17 months of doing physical therapy without making any progress. I mean, she was obviously making some progress, getting stronger and stuff, but for a long time, nothing really happened. Around the 1 year mark of physical therapy, I don't exactly remember now, but around 1 year, she finally started to be able to belly crawl, which means she was crawling and like pulling herself forward with her arms, but her legs were just kind of like dragging behind her, so she doesn't use her legs when she crawls. So she can now do that, and pretty soon after we started physical therapy, we actually got her a baby wheelchair, and she uses that wheelchair to just kind of like get all over our house. She can use that really well. And so yeah, so fast forwarding to now, we've been doing physical therapy for about 1.5 years, and within the last month, she started to be able to sit unsupported, and she's standing a lot more, and she can sit and stand when she's in like one of those car grocery carts at the grocery store. She can sit and stand pretty well in that, and it's super cute to watch. And sitting unsupported is just kind of like the huge thing that we're at right now. We'd hopefully like to see her crawling on hands and knees, but her physical therapist actually just told me this morning that like Kinsley probably won't crawl on her hands and knees, and she'll probably just kind of skip it and go straight to walking. And walking is the big thing that we're working on right now. Kinsley can stand really well, and if you hold her hands, she can take steps, but her legs aren't strong enough to support her entire weight, and so we are in the process of getting her a gait trainer. She also wears leg braces to keep her legs straight. And so we're in the process of getting her a gait trainer, which is essentially a baby walker, and she'll use that for a while until she learns how to walk eventually without it. She was in a gait trainer today, which you saw in that clip from physical therapy, and she actually does kind of like understand the concept of it pretty well. So our physical therapist anticipates at this point that within 6 months, Kinsley will be walking on her own in a gait trainer, and then hopefully within the next year we can transition her from the gait trainer to normal walking. So and at about 1 year from now, she should be walking without any support, and in 6 months from right now, she should be walking with the gait trainer. So those are the big things that we're looking forward to right now. Hopefully those are things that we can get on camera and share with you guys. I know that this is not going to be a very popular video with many people, just because not many people know or have anything to do with holoprosencephaly, but hopefully this video will give some sort of hope to someone who does receive that diagnosis. I know when we were pregnant, it was kind of hard to get that diagnosis and not know what to expect, because there's kids that have the most severe type that walk, and there's kids that have the most mild condition and they don't walk. And so, oh, and I forgot to mention, so Kinsley, when we originally were diagnosed, she had the second most severe type, but then we got a new MRI last year, and they actually told us that her brain had continued to develop, and she now has the most mildest form of holoprosencephaly that you can have, which is a huge blessing. So we've just been really blessed in this whole process, and we're just crossing our fingers and praying that she can get walking and stuff. So that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, I don't know how many people are going to like this video, but if you did like it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye!